I mean, this annexation that's coming ahead of us next year, I'm concerned with that annexation. I really would hate to see it. And I would rather have infrastructure like city streets and sidewalks and our community taken care of than to keep adding more that we can't keep up with. So.
I'm going to answer you that question, ma'am. I sit on council when annexation came in. When annexation came in, and I think Mr. Clark sat on with me on council, and we found out about annexation through the TV. When the mayor was on TV with the mayor, was Ivy Taylor then, and that's how we found out. You talk about shock to me. I was very shocked because we were never informed. I voted against annexation. I don't like it right now because, first of all, they want us to take the Glen, they want us to take Camelot, they want us to take Sunrise. I vote, and it's no secret, and everybody will tell you that's sitting up on council, I vote against rooftops. We don't need any more rooftops here. We don't have the infrastructure right now to take any more on annexation. I think annexation needs to be stopped because when we annexed Northampton, we violated the contract. I sit up with Councilwoman Lindgren when we took Northampton, and I said, and Ms. Lindgren said, the contract is void, because in the contract it said if you do not take Northampton at a certain time and a certain day, this contract is null and voided. We did not. We took it 3 months later. And I stood up and spoke my mind and spoke my piece because I read that contract. We don't need right now to take all this. Maybe in the future we can take it, but right now our infrastructure cannot do it. We won't have the money to supply another fire station. We have had $20 million bonds. We're paying on them. When Mr. Gordon Hartman's facility over here on 1604 is done, we're going to pay him $1.2 million for 30 years. I'm going to be point and frank with you because transparency needs to happen and y'all need to know about it. And they may get mad at me. I really don't care because you need to know what's going on. We don't need any more stuff. We need to concentrate on our city. Our city. It's not mine. It's not council. It's all of our city. And I'm very passionate about this. Very, very passionate. It belongs to all of us. We pay these taxes, and you as citizens should have a voice. I think it needs to be put a hold on it right now. And, you know, we get ready to have maybe new people or not. But I think we need to look at this very seriously. And you, the citizens, need to have a voice in this. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Councilwoman. First of all, Ms. Dobbs, the answer to your question is a question, and that is, if we are to encourage business growth, how is it that businesses are going to come to us? Right now, as your former economic developer of 8 years, I can tell you that businesses, many businesses, large businesses, you know, Fortune 500 businesses have looked at Converse, and they have left, and they have not come back. And I'll tell you why. Because they believe that Converse is not safe. Now, you and I both know that inside the border of Converse, we have 3 to 5 minute response time. Outside of Converse, in our zip code, we are being reported as being the second most dangerous suburb in San Antonio. How do we resolve this issue? I agree with you, okay? I want responsible growth, just like everybody. However, how do you address an issue that is outside of your boundaries with law enforcement that can't go outside of its boundaries. I'm not saying that we need to aggressively annex, okay? But I do believe that we have an opportunity to make Converse the safe haven that we know it is. For businesses, you and I, when we go shopping, when we buy anything from anybody, we want to make sure that we are safe when we do it. Any business will tell you that when they're safe, when they're protected, they will stay there and they will flourish. And that's the truth. When a business looks at a zip code and says Converse isn't safe, no matter what I tell them, they see what they see and the image is there. And so the real challenge for us is economically. How do we extend those services? How do we pay for the services that we need now without encouraging additional growth in areas that are outside of our boundary? I'm not saying that Camelot and the Glen are, easy things to accomplish. I'm of the opinion that it's possible for commercialization to occur so that we can have a redevelopment of those areas that encourages the valuation of those properties in such a way that it encourages new tax dollars. So I hope that answers your question.
Actually, I have
A follow-on question?
well, it's actually a statement. If we annex more homes and people, citizens, and our infrastructure can't support that, if our infrastructure, our fire, our police can't support that, what ends up happening is we play catch up. We've got more people we have to police, we have less ratio of police officers to citizens, and so you get behind it, and then you have to come up with the money to hire more people, and you can't hire a police officer or firefighter overnight. It takes time to vet them, to get them, to recruit them, to come to Converse, and we have to be competitive in price. So that means tax dollars on the citizens to be able to cover that, to grow the infrastructure after the fact, instead of planning for it. That's why you need to stop the annexation that's going on and bring in revitalization of commerce into the area. And there's ways of doing that. Now, as far as the police go, I know that when they went to Bexar County response, that was because that allows them to go outside of their boundary and their border. With that, because they work intermingled with the other forces around them, the sheriff's department, the other police departments, they now can go outside and they have support from them and they can support the others. That's the main primary thing for the Bexar County thing. Now, the Bexar County thing is not set up correctly. It needs to be reprogrammed and set up to work correctly. That's an IT issue that can be fixed with no problem. You just need to get the right guy that understands that and get it done. But as far as the growth of Converse, we're going in the wrong direction quick, and it's creating crime issues in our community, and it has to stop. It has to stop.
I hear you, and I applaud you. And one part of this process is engaging the citizens in responsible growth management. When I'm elected as your mayor, I intend to create a commission on responsible growth that addresses those issues and educates not only us that sit on council, but also those that sit in the audience, those behind the social media channels that say what is going on in their communities. It is, as we have said earlier, a listening process and making sure that that dialogue is going both ways. We have a responsibility as your government to educate ourselves and you and keep it transparent at the same time. I think we're closer to being on the same page than we've been in a while, but we have a lot of work to do, and that's why I want to be your mayor.
Okay, we're going to let Deborah respond to that, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Ma'am, I don't think you were here when I talked about if I'm elected as your mayor. I don't say when. I say if, because I'm fighting very hard to be elected as your mayor. I talked about a citizens roundtable where you, the citizens, can come each month and either talk to the mayor and 3 of his councils 1 month, and then talk to Mayor Pro Tem with 3 of his council people. Council is all equal. We will address your problems then. We won't ignore you. Address it, give it to us, let us think about it, let us figure out how to do it, and then. So annexation is, yes, we need to be very self-conscious. We came here 25 years ago. It was a quiet little country town. No crime. We could leave our doors open, could leave my garage open. In the past, I would say about 7, 8 years, I've seen a growth since Katrina. When we got other people in here and they started trickling in, and now, they want us to take the Glen and all, we need to be reasonable and think about the infrastructure. Do we really have the infrastructure right now? No, we don't. We need to look at the infrastructure and see what we can support with that infrastructure. And like I said, I was against it, and I firmly believe, y'all, that we need to put a hold on it. Not saying stop it, but we need to put a hold on it right now. And every citizen needs to voice their opinion and know what's going on. And annexation needs to be explained in layman terms to every citizen here. I make no excuse. I didn't like it and I don't like it because it's coming at you too fast. Too fast. It came at the citizens too fast. And our infrastructure went crazy. We did this, we did that. Yeah, we need to grow, but we need to grow smart. We need to grow smart. And all these rooftops ain't gonna cut it. Thank you.
I didn't have so much as a question as I just have some reiteration on this gentleman's comments. I too have been failed by the EMS system. And my life was in danger. I survived, obviously, but the point is that it could have been catastrophic. And it was to do directly with the EMS 911 call and where they had to come from. The second thing is I formally filed a complaint against the Converse Police Department, a detective and an officer. Okay, not only was nothing done about it, the city manager lied to my face, told me she put it on the mayor's desk. He says he never got it. One of the people involved not only didn't receive any disciplinary action, they were promoted. And I was humiliated in front of the Bexar County District Attorney. Okay? So, with all of that said, I've lived here for 18 years. Believe it or not, it wasn't a murder in Converse. Believe it or not. It used to be a wonderful little place to live. I personally am very concerned about this election and where we're going, and if things don't slow their roll and we regroup as a community and figure out what's really important, people's lives, children's education, our property, those kinds of things, I'm selling my house and I'm leaving Converse, okay? So that's where I'm at.
She's actually not alone. I've heard, I'm a president of an HOA, and I have had many, because I'm dealing with crime a lot, and I have many homeowners who've told me that they would move out if things don't change.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't feel safe anymore. And I can only do so much, and the police can only do so much. But if we grow too fast, we're heading for big problems, big problems. Yeah, go ahead.
We have another question?
Good afternoon. I'm Donovan Rodriguez. I'm a Bexar County resident, and I just wanted to clarify. I'm a young professional. I have a young family, and we're outside of Converse, but looking forward to moving in Converse. There was a comment made of Katrina people. again, as being a young professional, I am of a lower income bracket, and